Welcome back to another episode of Allowed to Ask, a First Rounds on Media production. We're officially in cuffing season, and that could feel a bit overwhelming. You might be wondering how to meet someone new when it's about to get so cold that no one wants to leave their house. Enter First Rounds on Me. This app makes meeting, planning, and actually going on dates easy. Spot someone you're interested in, send them a date request with a time, date, and location, and you're set. No endless small talk from your couch. First Rounds on Me takes the hardest part of dating and simplifies it. Download today and make cuffing season your season to actually go out. Beautiful. We're sitting here. Did you love that?
Love.
Loved. Okay. We're sitting here with the lovely, beautiful, sunny Melissa Garson. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So good and so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I know you're just like a light and bright, sunny lady. So we would love to hear more about you, what you do. I know you're an author. I know you're a speaker. So tell us all of the good things.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. So, so I wrote a book called The
Okay.
Recipe for Real Happiness that I was a real labor of love.
Mhm.
And I love using it in my life
Mm-hmm.
and with my clients and doing talks, on it. And I just, so where do I even begin?
Yeah. What do you work on with your clients?
So I work on whatever they need.
Okay.
Whatever it's really based on what they, want, what they're looking for, how they want their life to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because the best part of what I know is that we have a lot of control over our own happiness.
That you literally
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah,
ask that
that was the
question, like
question.
straight up. Is like,
Yeah.
can you be in control of your
Yeah.
happiness?
So here's the thing. Let me give you the kind of
Yeah, give me like your elevator pitch
I'll
of who
give
you
the,
are.
like,
And when you also wrote the book, because I know you and you've always been sunny.
Thank you.
Like you've
Thank
always
you.
sunny, kind, just a happy person, a sharer. Like, I mean,
Shara.
sharer.
I am a sharer.
Yeah.
I've always been a sharer because whether it was a lipstick that I love
Yeah.
or a mental tool that I
Mhm.
have learned or anything, I love to have other people know it too.
Right.
Right.
And it may or may not work for them, but like I love the ability that I have to share in a way that maybe it works for you.
Right.
I love
I'm the
that.
same way.
Yeah.
And so just for like the people listening, what would you say is like your 30-second, doesn't actually be 30-second,
Yeah,
like
no.
pitch of
So
who you
the
are,
gen-
what you offer?
The general gist is that I grew up with a mom who was bipolar, and it was really hard.
Yeah, I can
I
imagine.
never knew if I was like the greatest person or the worst person. And that's hard for a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that kind of parent, and I don't want to have that happen to me as a person. So
We literally had an episode last week
Yes.
or whenever it
Yeah.
was. And all about just like how your parents are so impactful of how you
Oh.
become a parent.
But
Oh.
we
And how
were
you
lucky.
could go.
or you go either way. You want to be like them or you don't want to
Right.
be
We
like
were lucky
them.
to pivot. And also, you were the baby girl of two
Yes,
brothers.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Oh,
And-
that's so weird.
Which was good for me. Lucky for me. They got I hate to say sorry guys, but they kind of got the worst of it because, she was not as available for me.
Right. I think
And
you
she
got the
wasn't
opposite.
terrible,
Yeah.
by the way. Her great qualities were phenomenal. I
Mhm.
actually dedicated the book to her.
Oh, that's
Like
nice.
so when she was actually at, she's passed away, but when she was sick and at the end of her life, I said, "Mom, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to dedicate it to you." Because she always said to me,
Oh.
"Write a book, write a book."
Did
I
it-
said that.
Was
Did
it
it
good
publish-
in the end?
It was great in the end. First of all,
Oh.
I learned tools on how to manage myself in the relationship.
You need to book a session with her. Like, immediately.
It's hard.
Right.
It's hard to, as a daughter with a difficult mom. But yes, and also, I really do believe that towards the end of someone's life, and I saw it because I actually saw her transitioning the
Mhm.
night, and it's like she had some really rough qualities, and like the night before she passed away, she got really sweet. And it was really beautiful to see. And
Interesting.
yeah, it was really interesting to see. So as she got more frail and sicker, kind of like at the end, she got nicer,
Mhm.
which was easier to kind of be with.
Right.
But anyway, so with that whole thing, I was like, I want to be happy.
Mhm.
I know I have it in me. And I also felt like I had some kind of a gift to share with other people, like
Like
connecting.
a natural
Mhm.
instinct to
I
do
just
that.
knew as a young person that I could motivate people.
I love
'Cause I
that.
wanted
great.
to motivate myself first.
Right.
I needed to learn how to do that. So like I had gone into therapy and I was like, okay, in therapy, I'm not putting it down because it can be
No,
very
love
helpful
therapy.
Right.
for
Yeah.
people. But I went in and I didn't really want to talk about my mother and all that stuff. I wanted some tools. Give me some
I was the same way
tools.
when I started therapy for different reasons. I was like, I want a tool. Like, I went to therapy years ago just because I was like a loser guy, but I was like, give me tools right now how to get over him immediately.
Yeah, well, the truth is nothing so immediate, but
Of
I get
course.
it, but
I
you want
learned
help
that
in
over
that moment,
time. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so when you need help immediately, I'm just gonna say, you gotta look to the universe.
Yeah.
That's the immediate
Are
thing.
you a big
We can
manifester?
talk about that, yeah. We'll
Okay.
talk about that in a minute. But so I just, was like, I really felt, and there was a book years ago, you won't know it, but your mom will. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and It's All Small Stuff. Do you remember that book?
My
No.
dad raised me saying that. Don't sweat the
Yeah.
small stuff.
I mean,
Right.
there was a guy named
I
Eric
didn't know it was a
Carlson,
book.
and he wrote a
She's not the biggest reader over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, but this was like a self-help book. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
I had when I was like in my late 20s and 30s, I
Mhm.
had so many self-help books under
Yeah.
my
Wow.
night table. I had a skirt,
You're like that.
I'm like
I
that
was reading
too.
romance
and
novels.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed that my husband at the time, because we're divorced now,
Mhm.
my first husband, I was married twice, 17 years the first time, 12 the second, and
And
not
your
sorry
kids
for
are from
any
your
of it.
first
My kids are
marriage,
from
yeah.
my first, and I'm not sorry for any of it because it
Right.
was really part of my
It's-
journey.
Yeah, no regrets.
100%.
But I remember saying to my best friend and my brother, I said, if anything ever happens to me, go get those books out. Because
Yeah.
I was embarrassed, like something was wrong with me. I was trying to
I
make,
totally get that though. Like reading in public, I
Right.
always love reading self-help. I think I've read all of
But
them.
you were always trying to better
I was
yourself,
always trying
which
to better
is
myself.
huge.
Whatever class or retreat. I mean,
Mhm.
I've been on meditation retreats where I'm silent for 10 days.
So I
That
have a
must be really hard.
I
for
know,
you.
I have a
I don't shut
mentor.
up in the dentist's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have a mentor who just did the same exact thing, and he's so similar to us, like just like full of energy. And I was like, how the hell did you sit in confinement for 10 days without speaking? I couldn't do it for an hour.
So you could.
I don't know if I could.
You could. You definitely could. You don't start with 10 days. You start with a 2-day retreat.
Oh,
Or you
okay.
can start with meditation, just slowly.
I used to meditate, but and I know this is the point of it, but I have such a hard time meditating.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
There's we'll get into that too.
Okay.
because you
Okay.
can't keep your
So-
focus. You probably keep thinking of something you have to do, like one more
Right.
thing.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
that's what happens is
Yeah.
our mind wants to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be still.
Mm.
But and we're not supposed to not have thoughts. We're human. Of course we
Right.
can have thoughts.
Mhm.
So the object, while we're talking about it, might as well stay there with
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
is, you have an object of focus
Mhm.
and you keep coming back to that object of focus, whether it's a mantra or a candle or whatever that your object of focus is.
Yeah.
You just keep coming back to that
To
so
bring
that-
yourself back to the
to
focus.
bring yourself back.
Yeah.
And you train your brain so that in life, when you start to go down that slippery slope of negativity, you're like,
Mhm.
oh, wait a minute, I am not going to go there. I'm going to come back to this moment.
Is this what you call positive psychology?
Well, okay. So let me go back to that. So anyway, so along my path of wellness for myself,
Mhm.
I was a teacher in the Bronx for a
Okay.
number of years, a first grade teacher.
Oh.
Loved.
Oh.
Then I got a master's in special ed. Loved. Became a tutor when my kids were young.
Oh,
And
so
then when my kids got
nice.
a little older, I wanted to go back, do more. So I went to school for coaching
Got
to
it.
become a life coach. And in my coaching program, there's a course called Positive Psychology.
Love.
I fell in love. So positive psychology is a study of human flourishing.
Mm.
So it's really different than psychology, and that psychology is like what's wrong with people and let's fix it.
You're literally answering all my questions before I even have
All right,
them.
good. We'll just sit here.
We'll just sit here. I'm like learning so much
Yeah,
right
it's
now, and
very
it's not
good.
even like
This is
5
great.
minutes in.
Tell me if I'm like lecturing. 'Cause
No,
now
no,
you
this is
know
the
this
point of a
is- yeah.
I don't
podcast.
want
Yeah.
to.
No, I
mean,
want you to.
I love
Spread your
this.
knowledge and love.
I love this so much to be able to do this and
Yeah.
and this energy here with you guys is just awesome. So it's a pleasure. Totally. Wait, I want in. So anyway, so after the coaching program, I saw that there was a program at Penn,
Mhm.
a master's program in positive psychology at University of Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Well, wow.
Smarty pants.
I'm not.
And
but
you were in like your 30s or 40s.
I was in my
then.
40s. I was
I mean,
going
that's
through hot
huge
flashes
to
with
go
all
back
these-
to school.
Let
Wow.
me
There are
tell you
hot
something.
flashes at 40.
I was. It was like, yeah. So anyway, so I went down for an info session. I fell in love. I said, I'm going to get into this program. And it was really, really hard to get into. Anyway, I wound up getting in. I remember getting my
Queen.
acceptance. I was crying. I was applying to school when my son was applying to college.
That's
So
so
it was
funny.
the
You guys
sweet-
did it together.
And they were so proud of me, my kids.
That's
Oh.
great.
It was really nice. Anyway, so I got in. And I went to this program. It was 1 week in a month for a year,
Mhm.
a
Wow.
distance learning program. But so many papers, so much work. But the information was invaluable. I mean,
Right.
I
Love.
studied with world-renowned researchers in the
Mhm.
area of happiness.
What would you
Wow.
say is the number one thing you learned? Like your biggest takeaway from it?
That approximately your happiness is 50% genetic, 10% life circumstances, and 40% in your intentional activities.
I'm curious about the genetic part.
Yeah, because my
Well,
genetic part
50%
is really
genetic.
like negative
Yeah,
15%.
right, right. Well, by the way, we are wired as a species for negativity to keep ourselves safe. So
Right.
because we're wired for negativity, that's the first thing, right? Because we had to like outrun the beast years ago. But now, we're still living on that adrenaline and that
It's also like
negativity.
misery loves company. When someone else is miserable or sad, they want someone else to be on that
But
path
you
with them.
but you can retrain your brain, and that's the
Right.
best part. Our brains are have neuroplasticity, and we can retrain our brains. Hence my book, which is
Yes, let's
the
talk about it.
four. Well, we don't have to, but
I want to.
I wrote it because this is a go-to.
Mhm.
It's 4 ingredients, 10 practices for each. Because I told you I like tools.
Right.
Yeah, and
No,
we
you
need
literally just
tools.
took what you learned and created a book
Right,
encompassing all of that.
right.
Because talk about negativity, I find myself now as I get older, I used to like have friends that just like sucked the life out of me, but I try to be a really good friend and I cherish my friendships. But like after a while, like listening to them and listening to the journey and kind of the bad behavior, like I feel bad as a friend, but I've had to step away because it was bringing me down.
Yeah. So
And
I understand that
Mhm.
I mean, I've had
completely.
friends for 5 years or 10 years that it was like that. And I was like, okay,
Well, we have a
Yeah.
choice, we have a choice, and who we want to surround ourselves with, and what we're willing to take. Like, for example, this week, this Monday, I write a motivational Monday.
and but that was another thing. I love I just started doing it, but I
Thank
love
you.
your
So
motivational
this
Monday.
I
week,
gotta sign up.
well, it's an email, so you'll give me.
Okay,
But it's a
amazing.
great way
Add
to
me.
start the week.
Subscribe.
I love it, and you know what? I do it really. I get great feedback from people,
Yeah.
and they're just like things that. It's not like I stockpile them and just no. I really it's something that kind of moves me that I want to share. And this week is really about, just what were we just talking about? Now I lost my thought.
Like genetics and being happy
Right.
and where that
No,
comes from.
oh, the friends.
The
Oh, the
friends.
Oh,
friends.
what you're willing to take.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Right.
So what you're willing to like, people will treat you the way you allow them to.
Right.
That's one thing. And then we have a choice of who we want to surround ourselves with.
It's
And
true.
I feel like there's situations where you can't get out of it. I'm thinking when I used to like at work at my whatever previous job that I've had, there were people that I worked with that were just like bleed negativity. Like I loved them as people, but there
Yeah.
would be times when like they didn't like their role in their job and I loved mine. And so I would just be with them and be like, do I hate my job?
Right. No, I
Or
get
how so
it.
I couldn't escape it. I was going into the office every day. Like, how do you handle what's a tool really to be like, I can't escape this negative personality because it's truly
To
work.
separate
So
yourself a
it's a
little.
Right.
mindset. It's a mindset. So here's the thing. Like I love this. I tell everybody the story. My kids will say they know it very like the back of their hand. So it's an opportunity for you to practice,
Mhm.
right? Just knowing that it's being patient. You're not going to choose to be with them on your free time, but you are there at work with them.
Right.
So consider them your Sherpa.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that? The Buddha, there's a story that the Buddha went on his journey.
Mhm.
And when he was on his journey, he took along with him the most annoying Sherpa he could find. Why? Why do you think?
To practice being patient and
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, exactly. He took the most annoying Sherpa. So when you're standing
I would take my
there,
mom. I'm kidding.
and so, like when you're standing, no, I know that's not true.
Yeah.
So,
My annoying Sherpa is my mom.
and by the way, then that's for you to learn from, like
Right.
how to manage. Just
I'm joking, by the way.
of
Right.
course you are,
Yeah.
but just like this person there, it's an opportunity for you to grow and learn,
Right.
right? And but you have to be thoughtful about putting yourself in that situation when it's your choice.
Right.
Right.
That makes
Work
sense.
is different. Family also. Family is difficult.
Yeah.
Like we're saying,
Right.
and so
You pick your
ma-
friends.
You manage it. That's how you do.
Right.
Know?
And that's what I basically have always done. Growing up similar to you, like a mom, whatever, my mom is still alive. She's definitely has softened and she has a little dementia, but she still has evil in her and sometimes she spews it. But it's I feel like we kid around though. I literally had one therapy session and she wrapped everything up in a bow and I was like, "All right, I'm cured. I feel better." But
One
I am
one
able to
therapy session?
manage it. Yeah, I should have gone 40 years ago.
Wow, we need the number of that therapist to
Yeah,
recommend to
And
everyone.
also she told me that the therapist didn't speak until
for
the
50 minutes,
the
the
last,
last
like,
10
10
minutes.
minutes, and all she said was, "Your mom did the best that she could at the time." And my mom was
And
like,
and
"Dang, I'm amazing, cured."
she wasn't capable of loving you the way you needed to be
But we talked
loved.
about this last time, so
Yeah,
I don't wanna
yeah,
No,
I
but
don't wanna
that's
get
okay,
into
but
it.
that is true, and that is
Yeah.
a wonderful well, and I felt the same way too.
right.
I remember in school when I was getting my master's in special ed, and we were in some I forgot what the class was, and it was something like that people are a product of their environment,
Mhm.
talking
Correct.
about her environment growing up, and I
Right.
was like, wow, that's why she is the way she is. It doesn't
Right.
make it okay,
Right.
and I don't have to be treated.
Right.
Right.
It's up to me to be strong, but it's tough as a daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a
But we
difficult relationship.
I mean, I
pivoted
can't
though.
imagine,
Like,
but
why
yeah,
didn't our mothers pivot?
'cause they were
Well,
bitches.
they weren't they
It
weren't
was a different
exposed to as
time.
much as we were. Like, I got to tell you something. Like, I loved, obviously not so much now, but I loved Oprah back in the
Oh,
day.
she was
And
great.
the
She was a
reason I
great
loved
host.
her was because she opened up the door for a lot of people that couldn't afford therapy or
Mhm.
didn't read books.
It
Mhm.
was like public
And
therapy.
she was just like, she changed people's lives because they saw that they had choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a friend once said to me, the biggest compliment ever, she goes, "You're like the white Jewish Oprah." And I was like,
I'm so glad to have the white Jewish
I
Oprah with us
love that. I was
today.
like, I love that. Like, that was the
Yeah.
biggest
Right.
compliment ever.
Right.
So nice.
Because I really feel that way. Like, I want to take what I've learned and make it accessible to as many people as
Right.
possible.
And you're doing
And you have
that
an
also
amazing
by being
relationship
here.
with your kids.
Yeah. Oh my
Like your
God.
kids,
Yes.
you're the
And
parent, but they're friends
by the way, you know, obviously on social media and stuff, like you look at things and it always looks like so easy and so fun and so whatever.
Mhm.
And yes, there is that. But there's a lot. Families have stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Nothing's
totally.
perfect and you go through your ups and downs, but like you learn from it,
Yeah.
just like
true.
the fourth ingredient in my book, which is learning.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you is how do you really teach people to learn like self-compassion and happiness? I know it's through practicing, but like if I was a very negative person and I come to you and I'm like, I just want to become a more positive person, like what is a step that people can take?
The very, very first thing that I would say
Mhm.
is what is working for you right now in your life? What is working?
So identifying people's strengths in a way.
Well, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
like, what's working for you? Even if they just say like that I'm breathing,
Right.
like everything else sucks, but I'm breathing.
Right. You're
Okay,
alive.
that's big.
Right.
Because some people aren't breathing.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So the first thing really is gratitude. That is
Right.
like the number
Uh-huh.
one is like what is working for you in this moment.
Mhm.
So even if like, I've had clients that have, had panic attacks and things like that, and that's
Mhm.
big, right?
Yeah.
So it's really like you just kind of come back into the moment. Of course, it depends on the level of the panic attack or
Mhm.
whatever. But like, you just get centered and like you focus on what's working
Mhm.
in this moment. Not so much with a panic attack, because that could be a little more, but in situations where you're feeling really down and really
Yeah.
shitty, just it's a little shift.
Mhm.
Like what's working.
And it probably just
Right.
like anything becomes a habit over time.
Well,
Right.
that's the other thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
let's
wanna
talk about
sh-
habit.
But you
I wanna share
also have to
something.
prioritize happiness. Like some people just wait for something good to happen,
Right.
but you have to kind of, I guess.
Right.
I
You have
used
to be
to
intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a very happy person, but I still like to like do all these like tools and tricks because why the hell not?
Which
I
one?
used to I haven't done it in so long, but I had a happiness journal, like a grateful journal, and every night before bed, I would write down like I think it was like 5 to 10 things that made me smile that day. It could literally be as like small as like I smiled at someone on the street and they smiled back. Like someone held the door for me. I had a really delicious coffee. Like
Yeah.
I would write that every single day and it just like puts things in perspective. Like, okay, today was a shitty day at work. I got in a fight with my friend I'm just making shit up. But those like 10 really nice things happened today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what happens is I did that as well. And
It's
it
so I
became
want to get
so
back into that. That was so
became
nice.
so natural.
You
Like
should do that.
now you would
Mhm.
really enjoy it. And what happens is you just begin looking for things in your day. Oh, that's gonna go in my journal. That's gonna
Right.
go.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And your day just changes.
Right. You could be
Right.
having just a bad day. You got yelled at by your boss, but then you remember when you sit down at the end of the day, like, what a shitty day. You look at like all these nice, happier moments that happened during
Mhm.
your day. I want to get back into
Absolutely.
that. Good idea,
Okay.
Danny.
I'm going to tell you a little story about how gratitude saved me in a really big moment.
Okay.
So it was a number of years ago when I was in my second marriage of
Mhm.
12 years.
I didn't
And I was
realize you were married that long
going to
to the
teach,
second guy.
yeah, going to teach a class in mindfulness. And I had a Jeep Wrangler
Mm-hmm.
and I'm backing out of my driveway and he was walking up and he's reading the mail and I hit him. Boom. Guy goes down. Okay.
You hit your husband with your
I
car.
hit my husband with the car.
Wow.
And it wasn't like I didn't like him. Or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Right.
Total accident.
Total
You're like,
accident.
and that's how we got
And
divorced.
I get out of the car and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. He wound up breaking his elbow.
Mhm.
But first of all, his head was down. I didn't see him in the corner of the car.
Yeah.
But the point is, I didn't beat myself up and go down that slippery
Right.
slope. I could have gone through everything I screwed up in my life. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm such a, how could I, whatever. No, I was very grateful that he was okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it was one of those, like, that's a really big, and I've had so many others. I had a fire in my house and the
Nice.
dogs were fine. And I was going away the next day. So I had a bag packed. I had to leave the house. I was gone for 7 weeks, but I had my bag packed already. So it was like gratitude for that.
Right.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just constantly, and
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
You really can shift your mindset,
Yeah, you
which reminds me of a
persevered.
story. I have a dear, dear friend who was always happy, and she could totally find the good in everything. It's an Armand girl, and we've been friends. It
You
is.
said was.
Is.
Oh, it is. I was like,
Um,
what?
I was thinking because she was. That's
Oh,
why.
oh, oh.
And I call her mad. Either she's medicated, she's truly an angel, or she's dumb. Because she just, she has like a lot of friends, and some of them I find, a little like high maintenance for my liking, or she's just always super, super happy and super grateful and whatever. So then the other day I decided that she's definitely not medicated. We know that. So
Or
her
she's
mom's
just
name
happy.
was Moo. She had the nicest, kindest mom. She said her mom never complained. I mean, she could at like 5 in the morning wake her up and say, "Could you make me pancakes?" And the mother would go, "Okay, sure." Just a whole different childhood than I had.
Yeah.
Um, what was my point of my story?
I don't know. Mad?
Mad. But like she just always had the mindset just to just be up and
That
positive.
doesn't make you
and-
dumb.
No, well, I think sometimes she's dumb in certain situations that she's so tolerable, and that
So
she
like,
does
I think that's
she takes
patience.
behaviors that you wouldn't take. She accepts things from people that
no
you
matter
wouldn't.
what. And she could find good at anything. She could get mugged or something, and she would be like, "Well, you know what? The guy really needed it, so I made it a better day for him." Like that's how
Sounds like a love.
like an
Literally
angel.
an
A doll.
angel.
Angel. I
An
know. I'm getting to
angel.
the angel part,
Yeah.
kind of.
Right.
I told her when we're 70, I'll tell her what I come up
Why?
with.
Why don't you tell her now?
Well, I do. I
Really?
tell her little
Can I
tidbits,
just
but
tell you something? One of the things that I tell people is if you're thinking something nice, share it.
I say to my boyfriend all the
Shit.
time, if you have never hold in a compliment. Like if you have a compliment for someone, because he makes fun of me. He's like, we're in the elevator and I'm talking to the girl in the elevator. We're at dinner, I'm talking to the person next to us. I'm talking to the doorman. Like I
we were
literally
naked in a sample sale.
Yeah, we
together.
were yesterday we
talking
were at
to
a sample
people.
sale and we were like ass naked and these women are like, "Oh, do you like this?" We're like, "We love that." Like my tits are out and I'm talking to this woman.
Can I tell you, it's a
You're
good
cut
thing I
from the
wasn't
same
with you
cloth.
because I'd
Yeah.
be doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
Like we actually were in the fitting room for an extra like I would say 30 minutes.
Helping
because-
other
And
people.
how
Helping
beautiful
people.
is that, connecting with other people?
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. is
Right.
an
And
I
awesome-
get
that's
it,
a
like-
gift.
Well,
It is a
it's
gift.
a gift and it's a practice. And you see how good you feel, so you do it more.
Right. And I honestly, I'm not, if I'm in the elevator with someone and I think their dog is really cute, I'm going to be like, your dog is so cute. Or you smell really good.
Right,
What's your perfume? Or
right,
your hair
right.
looks good. Like, I'm not getting their number and going to coffee with
Right,
them. It's
right.
just like, one, it makes me feel good, honestly, to
And you're
make someone
giving it.
else feel good. And two, like, who knows if they made it a shitty effing day and then
Yeah.
that one compliment that they smell good could make
So-
them feel
So
better.
the thing is, with that, you don't want to feel pressured to talk. If you
Right.
feel like you want to and you have that message that you want to share or the thought that's
Mhm.
positive,
Right.
do it.
Right.
But don't ever feel like, oh, I have to, because that's where, like, I remember years ago when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be talking to you and I'd be thinking about the next thing that I was going to say because I wasn't
Interesting.
as comfortable about myself. I wanted to be
Mhm.
confident. I
Yeah.
remember reading some of those books under the night table
Mhm.
Yeah.
were on confidence.
Right.
Confidence.
What's your
What is-
favorite one?
What is confidence? Oh, every Reader's Digest you would see in the supermarket, like, confidence. Anything that said the word confidence, because I wanted to be confident. And so I remember like worry. And now there is none of that. I'm really comfortable. I
Mhm.
feel good and confident about myself.
Mhm.
And I really want to help other people feel that way too,
It's
because it's a
great.
very different life
Yeah,
when you live that
I
way.
agree. How would you define confidence for you at least?
Feeling like I can handle what comes my way, poo, poo,
Mhm.
poo. Um, and 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 liking myself. Like I was thinking about this. So in the book with the four ingredients, one
Mhm.
of them is love. The
Mhm.
first one is love. So love of self. So how do you love yourself? First of all, you say nice things to yourself. That's
Mhm.
number one. You watch that negativity that comes up in your mind.
Yeah.
We all, I have changed my brain so much so. I was thinking about this on the way down. First of all, I'm like me and my best friend, we're always together. That's
Mhm.
number one. But I remember like I was in Sedona on a retreat a couple years ago, and I was in my room and I was getting dressed in the closet, and out of my mouth it said to myself, "Come on, let's go." Like I'm like, "Come on, let's go." And I'm like, "Wow!" And it was a positive. Like, "Come on,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
go." I talk to myself all the time, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like I learned that recently because I used to be very hard on myself with body image. Like I never had an issue, but like I mean I still have bulkies. Like sometimes I'm like, do I look fat?
Yeah.
But like during COVID, I was like really down bad on body image. And like I had to teach myself to be like, okay, I'm never gonna be like this sick, skinny person. Like that's okay. I have curves from my mama. Like it's like
That's
training yourself.
accepting.
I definitely still have those moments where I'm like, I don't feel good, I feel fat, whatever. But like I think that's just normal in my eyes. But maybe not, but I've learned to, like, be nicer to myself in that
Absolutely.
way.
Self-love and
Absolutely.
Self-love.
self-care.
Self love and self care. And self
Right.
care is taking care of your mind. Be
Mhm.
kind to your mind. I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I take care of everything else but my mind.
Perfect.
Like, and I actually try now, but it's hard for me to be more present. I'm always trying to check things off my list and my agenda, and instead of
So
just
you can do both. Here's the thing. And that's going to the third ingredient. So we're really getting through the
We're
ingredients.
yeah.
I'm
flying
just
through
going
this
to say
book.
we got love,
We got
love
love.
of self, and love of others. We can get to in a second. We
Yeah.
love that.
Mhm.
But we got to gratitude. Okay. And now we're kind of like at mindfulness. So
Right.
here's the thing you can do both. First of all, I remember going to a retreat with John Kabat-Zinn, who is the father of mindfulness. Like he is
Ooh.
the guru.
The
Okay.
guru of
Like he wrote
mindfulness.
many books, and one of them I love the title, Wherever You Go, There You Are.
Oh,
Like
cute.
that.
Great
I like
book.
that.
But he's really amazing. But anyway, so I go up to Omega years ago to a
Mhm.
retreat of his, and I'm with all these people, and he's doing his talk and whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I have access to John Kabat-Zinn. I need to ask him a question. I was like,
What's the one burning question?
right, what's the one burning question? And then I'm like, wait a minute. I have everything I need. There's nothing I need to ask. But then I did think of a question.
Yeah.
And I said to him, when do you plan? Because he's talking, and I'm a planner, because that's what I noticed.
Huge.
We're huge
Right?
planners.
Huge
That's what I
planners.
noticed
Mhm.
when I was on my retreat was that I'm planning because I'm there for like all these days. Okay,
Yeah.
when am I going to wash my hair?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll have more peanut butter on Wednesday.
Yeah. I plan too.
That kind of thing.
I wish
Yeah.
I could be more loosey goosey, but I can't fly by the seat of my pants. I like to.
No.
So
No
here's
shot.
so back to the whole thing with the planning and the balancing. So first of all, I said to him, when do you plan? And he said, when you plan.
You plan when you plan?
You plan when you plan.
Like, oh,
So in other words, okay, today, here's my day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. You have your day organized like that. And then you could say, you know what, from 3 to 4 or whatever, I'm going to plan. Because otherwise, I'm not going to think about all the things I have to do while I'm doing A, B, and
oh,
C.
I kind of do that right now though. Like in the morning before my work day, I have like a master like what I have to do list, but then I have a mini journal that's like this big, and that's why like I write the date at the top, and that's my what I am doing that day. Like I might have a long to-do list, but like here's 4 things that I must get done
That's
today.
prioritize. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Do
Yeah.
you still highlight it when you did it?
I don't know where
So
I
it's
just need to
kinda
buy a
like,
new fucking
ding.
highlighter, but like I just check it off. But like I usually and like love a good highlight.
So I'm a big list maker.
Yeah.
Me too.
But that's okay. So and I'm also when I talk about the planning, I'm a planner, but then I let go. And
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah,
balance.
that's
You
huge.
want to be able to like I still have a calendar. I have a calendar I have a paper book.
Me too.
I don't like in my phone. I can't see the
Wait.
month. I like to see the whole month.
Why? Yeah,
Right.
she does that.
So
I have my file of facts, everything.
right. Well, I was
That's
loved my
old
Violet.
school.
So
So,
funny.
so this is funny. So it reminds me of a story in the Hamptons. So one of my son's friends, I always get around. I always say I'm going to leave him my date books because then I save like 4 years of them
Oh,
just if I have to
wow.
go
No,
back.
they're so funny.
So he finds it so funny because like on one day it would be literally like
no,
buy
yeah,
carrots.
one of them said,
And-
buy carrots.
So he's like, that's so wholesome. What a day you had. I mean, of course, that probably,
Like, it just,
So
the only thing she had
cute.
was
Or-
buy
but of
carrots.
course they're on edibles and they're cracking up. So that my date book, they were just at my house a couple of weeks ago. My date book is like a sense of like comic
It
relief
is.
for people. They go, oh, let's see what Janice
You're
did.
very funny. Janice.
Canasta.
No, the best is watching or is reading her text messages to herself. Like I do it too. I text reminders, but her
Oh, yeah.
reminders on her phone are so funny. Like I'm trying to think of one that you've done, but it's like,
I write everything down. And
Yeah.
also what we do, and this is like a sickness and I don't like it. I get into bed at night. I'm like, and I love my sleep. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I sit in bed. Then I'm like, oh, wait, no, I got to file this now. I get up for that. Then I go back and sit down. I'm like, oh, wait. I forgot to write that note. I go downstairs. I write the note.
OCD.
Like, I do that like 4 times and then I'm done. I wish I could just turn my brain off.
So a couple things. So one is, why don't you keep a pad and a pen next to your bed?
Oh, that's genius.
No, I'll have
I can't. I like can't say
Yeah,
it.
Get it out. Get it
because
off
she
your
doesn't
head,
she
because
doesn't like the
can't.
cluster.
I hate
stuff.
the clutter.
But you can have a beautiful pad and a really nice pen. So it's
Ugh, I just
Wait,
think
look,
of
I'll have a
touching-
bucket with a nail file, water. Wait, I might need some pretzels.
Yeah, literally. I
You
want
put it in the drawer then.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't even have a drawer. I want to steer this back on track around like self-love and compassion and
Yes,
just bring it into the dating and even just not even just dating, but just relationship. It could be
Yes.
with your mom or your
Yes,
family, whatever.
yes.
Like how could someone who, let's say, is getting back into dating, never dated, like really just learn to give themselves some self-compassion? Because I truly believe like you cannot find your person or even date until you feel really secure and confident in yourself.
Yeah.
So are do your clients come to you with that about, finding relationships? Are they stressed about that? How do you navigate that conversation?
So yes. And so it generally starts with you
Yeah.
so that you feel good about you and you attract the right person.
Mhm.
When I say right, there really could be like a lot of right people. I really believe that. I don't think there's one right person for anybody.
Interesting.
So I mean, not that it's not I don't want to judge or whatever.
No,
People
of
have their
course.
soulmates and whatever, but I do believe there's a big universe out there.
Right.
So I think it's really about feeling good about yourself
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
this having that self-love
Right.
and trust and knowing. It's so funny because I had a client the other day and we're talking and she was saying, where am I going to meet this person? How is this going to, whatever. And I was like, listen, we don't know that because only the universe knows that.
Right.
But the truth is, if you take care of you and you do your practices to feel good about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
it could be anywhere. It could be like at Whole Foods. She said, oh my God. I said, what? She said, yesterday I was at Whole Foods and the guy turns to me and said, oh, you're so beautiful. Can I get your number?
I
And
love that.
She said she was about to give it to him, but he wound up getting a little too personal, like where do you live, and just asking. So
Oh,
she
no,
wasn't
abort,
comfortable.
yeah.
Got a little creepy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it could have been
but
so
I'm just
cute.
saying it could have been, and it's also just that was part that gave her also a sense of hope
Right.
because hope is really important. Having
Yeah.
hope, right?
Right.
Feeling
But we don't want
hopeful.
that to come from the validation of other people.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
For sure
right.
not. But that's why it's all about you.
Right.
And that was something that we didn't address also, is really not looking for happiness outside of yourself.
Right.
That's why I'm saying taking care of yourself, having the
Right.
habits. The same person, back to the self-care,
Mhm.
we spoke about rituals. Like I love rituals.
Ooh, let's
before-
share some.
Before I go to sleep, I love to take an Epsom salts bath.
Every
Yeah,
night?
Every night.
I have
I
a friend,
love it.
Natalie, who takes a bath every single night, even if she gets home at 2 in the morning.
Wait, that's crazy.
Exactly.
Baths kind of
My
gross me
friend
out, but
Natalie.
like,
Loves it.
I love it. I take
Yeah.
I pour the Epsom, have
She
my
does it
day,
too.
And I shower in the morning, whatever, but I put my Epsom salts, I take my bath, then I
how
get-
long did you sit in there for?
Not so long. You just
Yeah.
kind of go in, get a little
Nice little soak.
That's what she
So-
does.
come out. I do put my face routine. I'm very into skincare. You
Yeah.
want to take
You look
care of
great.
whatever. Thank you. I try. Do what I can.
The ritual.
And then I put lavender on I put body cream on. You know, when you get old, you got to hydrate.
You're like a
If
Right.
slip
you're
and
younger, you
slide.
got to
Oh no,
hydrate.
I'm like
Right.
dry as could be. I'm lathering.
Hydrate.
Yeah.
So, and then I put lavender on the bottom of my feet. And if it's chilly, I put socks on. Then I get into bed.
What's lavender on the bottom of your
It's
feet do?
lavender oil because your feet really absorb the oil in it.
Wait, I have the driest feet on the
It
planet.
doesn't get
But
on your
this is
carpet? And what happens?
no, it kind of evaporates into your feet. But
Mm.
it's also I can't I don't know the science behind it, but we can look it up after.
Well, it's like people
Right.
spray stuff on their bed to kind
I
of
do that
calm their
too.
day. Oh,
I
there we
do
go.
that too.
Yeah,
I
that was
spray
your
that on
next
my
step.
pillow.
Yeah.
But
You'd get a
and
headache from it.
Yeah, I
and
probably
then
would.
I would think about like the day, like what I'm grateful for from the day. I might talk to God, and that was another thing that we kind of didn't really talk about was
Yeah.
spirituality. Like
Mm.
that is really like the next piece of my teaching puzzle.
Okay.
I just did a young moms spiritual book group,
Oh, that's so
and it was
nice.
really great. Like
It's great.
it was really great because the truth is, spirituality protects against depression.
Oh.
And
Do you
we
believe
know
in the
that
evil eye?
the evil eye. I mean, whatever you believe in, you believe in. I don't believe or not believe in it.
Yeah.
I just if you believe in it, that's great.
Cool.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do believe that there is something bigger than us that guides us.
Mhm.
I
And
believe in that too.
so I feel, and you know, when we are aware of synchronicity, you know
Mhm.
what synchronicity is?
Is that like being in sync with yourself?
No.
Oh.
I'm so glad you don't know, and I can teach it to you.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
thought I did.
I'm not glad
Educate.
that you don't know, but I am glad that I can share.
No,
it
I'm
with you.
glad that I don't know. Educate me.
So synchronicity is just being aware of when things happen that you think are coincidence.
Oh.
Oh.
You were thinking of someone and they call you. Or
It happened yesterday. We
But-
were literally talking about you, and then you texted us.
Yeah, we were at dinner when you texted us, and then I'll never.
I literally said like, did we text her? Or you said like, did we
That's-
tell her where the location is? And then you texted us being like,
Right,
where are we
right,
going
right at that
tomorrow?
exact same time.
And I have to tell you, when you are aligned with that and you trust the guidance of the
Mhm.
universe,
Mhm.
you live in a flow, in a
Yeah.
certain flow. Do you remember the book The Secret?
We're in a simulation. Yes, I know that
Okay,
book.
so I'm not professing or
Do you like
any of that
float
stuff.
around life? Like you're so light and.
I mean, I'm human. I have ups and downs like anybody else. But I live in a pretty good place.
Like
in
a
my
nice-
mind. I have
yeah.
a good place here.
It's really
That's
good.
so
Because I could
nice.
sometimes like go down a rabbit hole, not in a long
course.
time, but when I had like a
No.
lot of service with my mom and stuff when we were young,
Yeah.
or even when the kids were growing up,
Yeah,
like
it's
sadness,
hard.
it was like heavy. Now I'm
Yeah.
totally.
Well, I had times like
feel
that too,
lighter.
where like just like during like breakups or just dating a bunch of bozos, like it's hard to not be so hard on yourself. Like I was never like, I'm never gonna find anyone. Like that was never ever my mindset, but it was more just like the draining of the thought of like going on another
Yeah,
date,
yeah.
talking to another person, doing the whole spiel. And trust me, I could talk about myself for years. But imagine that. But it's hard to not be down on yourself during a period like that when it's just the constant, not rejection, it's just the constant not working out.
Rejection is protection.
Rejection is redirection,
Okay.
but that works too.
And I went down with you, just so you know, quietly on the sidelines.
This bitch lost 20 pounds when my ex-boyfriend and I broke up.
Say that again.
She lost 20 pounds.
A
Wow.
long time ago.
Wow.
Like,
But you're also a good influence because you were talking about like having weight issues and whatever, or you know,
so when I was having bad weight issues, you were
No, but remember when
You were
when we
benefiting?
lived together during COVID, I lost like 8 pounds. Like
right, because
you're-
I was a psychopath.
yeah.
But that was a bad mindset, and I shifted
Yeah.
my mindset. Same thing with dating. When I was in very minor times, I was in a rut about it. I was usually very positive about it.
Sunny.
I was very usually sunny about it. But there were times where I'm like, screw
Of
this.
course.
It's that little mind shift where it's like, okay, that one didn't work out. Doesn't mean that it's not going to work out again.
Well, that's exactly right. Because I was doing that too. When I was married the first time, 17 years,
Mhm.
divorced for all of 2 seconds. We married again to the next guy for 12 years. Also part of my journey.
Yeah.
And then I got divorced, and I'm not getting married again. But
I was going to say, do you want to get married again?
No, I
Third
do
time's a
not.
charm. Come on.
I know. I don't. I'm feel good. This way,
Yeah.
I have a great boyfriend,
Mhm.
and it's great. But I dated, in between, and someone once said to me this: everybody that you go out with is an opportunity to learn. You learn more about
It's
yourself.
so
that's what we
true.
always say also,
say
like,
that.
Danny wouldn't be where she is now
Yeah.
unless maybe she had that toxic
That's,
boyfriend
of
or the
course,
other, whatever.
part of your journey,
Mhm.
and to appreciate, and that's like also part of like appreciating that the universe has your back.
Mhm.
The universe definitely has your
Mhm.
back, and you have to notice it. And that's back to synchronicity. The
Mhm.
more aware you are of it, the more you'll notice it. Like when I called you and you guys were saying that.
Yeah.
And if you leave here today, you're going to notice it for the rest of the day.
Right,
Just be
yeah.
thinking about noticing. Like, I'll tell you an example. I was walking home the day I graduated from becoming a meditation teacher. It was an online full day. We're online to end the class. So I went to Whole Foods, talking a lot about Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we love
that's
Whole
good.
Foods here.
And
Not
I'm
sponsored.
walking home early in the morning, so I have all the things I need because I need to be online all day. And I'm walking down, and I'm walking mindfully with my feet touching the ground, mindful,
Heel toe.
present. And I said, Mom, and my mom has passed away, as I told you, and now we have the best relationship ever. I'm
Right.
not kidding. I mean, it's like
So
she's
y-
right with me.
So you have great memories.
No,
But she's saying she's
no, I
connected to
don't
her
have
now.
great
Yeah.
memories. I do
Oh,
not have great memories.
Okay.
I remember her well. I choose to remember. I have a beautiful picture of her that I keep, so I look at her when she was
Joyce,
younger.
right,
Joyce.
Joyce?
Wow.
Good job,
Wow.
Mom.
Remember? That was like a
Janice.
bzzz. That was a good
No,
connection.
she has like
was
horrible memory.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, but I choose to remember the way she looked beautiful in that picture, and I choose to think of her at the end of her life the way she was. And I'm walking, and I said, Mom, just give me a sign. If you want,
Oh.
just let me know you're here. And all of a sudden, I look up, and there's a license plate, and it says Just JUSTHAVFUN.
Oh.
Just have fun. And she used to say that to me because I was always
Aw.
learning and going to classes she would be like, just have fun.
Oh, I
Just
love
have
that.
fun.
So
Oh, I got chills. I
cute.
love
Sammy
that.
got
That was
chills.
really unbelievable.
great.
And then, of course, I said, all right, I'm not going to push it, but if you're really here, give me one more
Yeah.
sign. And then, of course, I saw a white feather, and that's my sign from her.
Oh,
White
Aw.
feathers. So just you can ask and you can look and just notice. Like you might hear a
That's so
song and
crazy.
you walk into a store and it's playing or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all synchronicity, and that's the universe telling you you're on the right path.
it's great.
I love
Connected.
that.
You're
Yeah.
connected. It's
See,
beautiful.
I like that.
We like chatted so much already. I know we have to wrap up, but I know you wanted to end with a certain little question.
Oh, like what makes you happy? We could do a little
Yeah, we
round
could
of
do a
what
little-
makes us happy.
A round table of, or I thought it was like what? Oh yeah, was it what makes you happy?
What makes you happy?
Okay, we'll do a little round table of what makes us happy.
Okay, I'll
I was
start.
gonna say you go first. Take it
When
away.
my kids are thriving, that fills me up.
Anything else?
That makes me
Share.
happy. Well, we could just keep going. You go a little.
No, I want to go last. I need to think about it honestly.
Okay, I wrote it down. Taking walks and being outside,
Mm-hmm.
having good relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I love playing cards with my friends.
What do you play?
Canasta.
I just learned.
It's
Oh my
so-
God, you
wait,
got
Melissa,
another partner.
It's so good.
It's
It's
really
like you
fun.
use your brain.
I
and
love
I only
it.
play with people like I like and want to play with. It's not
Absolutely.
like I
Like,
love.
But that's the truth. Anything you do, you want to play
It's
with
the
people that you
connection.
Like same
Yeah.
thing. It's great.
I love
have
doing
fun.
this podcast.
You do?
I love going to concerts.
I thought you were about to say Costco.
No, I
I
love
thought you were
waking.
going to say that too.
I really do appreciate now, like waking up and feeling good. Like that's actually
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a sunny day.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You definitely took my things. I love walks. I love being with my friends. I
Yeah.
love being with my boyfriend now. I love also being alone. Like my alone time is so
Oh,
important.
I
to
love that
me.
too.
Yes, love my alone time. Like nothing gets me more excited than like a Friday night alone with like a face mask and just
Oh,
like
love-
ordering in something like probably pad thai. And what else makes me happy? My work makes me happy, as like lame as that sounds. Like it
No,
definitely is
no.
like fulfilling.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of more like niche things. That's really it. I mean, I can go on
You
for
love
years.
exercise.
Oh, I love to work out. I'm getting my Pilates certification at the
Oh,
moment. Yes,
wow.
last weekend.
So do you want
Um,
to teach it?
I'm hopefully going to teach it.
Let's go to her class.
I'm
She might
passed out. It's like
literally
104
actually
degrees in
drop
there.
dead. It's
I
104
will
degrees.
go.
Okay, we'll
I
keep
will
in
go.
touch.
Yeah,
I'll let
I
you
love
know
it. I love that.
because
Love
we're
it.
gonna manifest that I'm teaching.
Yes.
I'm teaching,
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
gonna come.
Yes, I will be there.
Amazing.
I right now envision myself sitting. In
No, see, I'm
class.
actually teaching you, and you're kicking ass. Okay. Tied up with a
Wow,
bow.
okay,
What makes you
so
happy?
I was totally listening to what you guys were saying, so it's so great because
Mm.
now I'm just gonna say. So what makes me happy? So my kids, when my kids are thriving as well, when
Right.
they're happy, when they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend, we have
Mhm.
a great time. We have so much fun. My friends
Mhm.
love. I've
We're all very simpatico.
We're all cut from the
created,
same
like,
cloth.
the best
Yeah.
network of friends. I love nature. I love the sky. I love the beach. I love
Oh,
palm
love the
trees.
beach.
Palm trees are just
Yeah.
like, oh my God. I love
They're happy.
I love God's, you know what? Nature's cathedral, they call it. Being in nature's cathedral.
I'm so
love
relaxed
it.
with
Yeah.
you, don't you?
Yeah,
I'm
me
gonna take a
too.
nap after this.
I
Like,
love that. I love the way I feel when I'm when I meditate.
Mhm.
Not always, but
Yeah.
I love that. Um,
Aren't you a grandma?
oh, that baby,
Anybody watching this
that
will say, like,
baby
"She's a
is
grandma,
She's a
you look like a
grandma?
kid."
baby is, and she looks like me too, which is so much fun.
Aw.
Like the other day, she's one now, and I walked in. I wasn't with her all day, and I came in, and she goes,
It's
because
the
she doesn't
best.
talk yet, but she goes,
Yeah.
so I love being with the baby, and I love watching my mom be a daughter, be a
Your daughter
mom,
be a
Your
my
mom.
your
daughter be
daughter
a
be a
mom.
mom,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love watching my daughter be a mom.
Love.
Well, you
I
set a
love.
good example for her too.
Thank you.
She
Yeah.
doesn't have to pivot.
I love
Okay.
you're so
No pivoting
fun.
needed.
And
Right?
I love this. I love connecting with people. I love helping people. I love doing the next nice thing.
I feel
Whatever that
the
is, like
same
like
way.
when the toilet paper is like I was in the gym this morning and the roll was off.
I
I
always,
changed it.
always, always,
Like I feel
I just did
good.
that in your apartment now,
always.
by the way.
In a store and in the changing room, like I always put things back on the hanger because I know like it's
Yeah.
probably a daunting
Yes.
task
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Love.
And I love making people smile. And I do. I love it. And when people have said, you made my day, like strangers in some I love
Makes
being
my
with
day.
strangers too. Like
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that's the greatest thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. So
Right.
I love being alive. I feel so
Oh my
lucky.
God.
Right. We're lucky.
Lucky because you know what? It's a gift, not a given.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's cute. I
What
like
an
that
amazing
too.
way to wrap up. It's a gift, not a given.
Yeah.
Gift, not a given.
Thank you so much. You're
Yeah.
so wise. I wish we could talk for like 45 more
Me too.
years.
Thank you so You're so adorable. This was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
No,
Thank you
thank you.
for
Our
being
pleasure.
here.
Thank you.
You want to
Thank
say our
thank
whole
you.
like subscribe thing this time?
Yes. No, you do it.
Oh, like, subscribe, do all those good things. Thank you for listening and tune in next week. Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
so
you, Melissa.
cute.
Thank you.